Daniel Andrews' pandemic bill will pass Parliament. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of Realpolitik. Grab your stein of coffee, because Andrew's pandemic bill is expected to pass Parliament in Victoria. Now, this may be disappointing to people who've been protesting, particularly against this bill, but it's not at all that surprising, everyone. You shouldn't let this discourage you from becoming politically active. That's the thing, when people take their first steps out in activism or just taking an interest and they don't get immediate results, particularly after you're seeing so many people in such a huge event, it can be a bit discouraging. But just remember, this is slow moving. You're talking generational change. The left did a slow march through the institutions, and now they're reaping the rewards. Good times lead to weak men. So, Andrew's government's pandemic bill expected to pass with major amendments. So that alone could be the victory of the protests. The fact that there's significant amendments to this bill. Because, well, all of the politicians, because there'd be people there arguing, you guarantee there'd be a party there going, look at the number of people on the streets. We need to make changes. That would justify their position. That would justify their argument against the pressure they'd be receiving to just push it through. So huge changes to the Andrews government pandemic bill have been revealed. As confidence grows, it will pass Parliament. Victoria's controversial pandemic bill is expected to become law after the Andrews government secured enough votes for it to pass. However, the numbers were only gained when the government conceded to several major amendments to its restrictions. Now, in some ways, this is actually an improvement over what they've had before in the past. Remember, we went right back at the beginning when all this was declared, and just the power. What really got to me was the power nominated people from the government can have to just declare your home dangerous to enter the house. It's nuts, everyone. Among the changes are the establishment of a panel that will independently review appeals to detention enforced by public health orders. That's fantastic, the Herald Sun reported. The deal was clinched after negotiations with Transport Matters MP Rod Barton, who was previously opposed to the bill. That's it. They need to have mechanisms in place to at least address this. They haven't had anything. They had what have they got? Their human rights charter in Victoria. It doesn't mean anything. It just means more paperwork to get around the rights that they give you so kindly. Among the agreed amendments were health orders having to be reviewed by a new parliamentary joint special committee. The committee will be chaired by someone from the crossbench or opposition and will be required to have a minority number of government MPs. The negotiated resolution comes weeks after disgraced former Labour MP Adam Smoyerek revealed he would return to Parliament to block the bill. His decision would have meant the government fell short of the majority it needed if the crossbenchers who previously committed to opposing the bill voted against it. Victoria's proposed new laws give the Premier the power to declare a pandemic on the advice of the Chief Health Officer and Health Minister were pushed through the lower house last month. The legislation has been divisive, inspiring large protests in Melbourne, and that it has, everyone. So let's have a talk about this. So, if you've partaken in the protests to try and get this bill stopped, it may be disheartening to see it getting through. But there have been major amendments made. Now, it could be that the government was willing to give those amendments right from the beginning, although I doubt it. It's more work, more effort. But also, you have to remember, simply that show of people can benefit those arguing for your liberties. It's a small victory, everyone. And we'll have to see what happens at the next election in Victoria. That's the real test, if Andrews will stay in. Because his popularity, 60%, and I would not be surprised at that. To be quite honest, not at all. That would not surprise me. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Watch this last video I did about the huge protests that have been happening around the country. Take care, guys. Have a great day. And, well, I'll see you in the next episode of Realpolitik. Cheers. It's a good time.